All right, here we go. We have comedy royalty in the building.
Please.
Earthquake, welcome to Vlad TV.
Well, thank you for having me, Vlad. I met you before, man, and it's an honor to be on your show.
Honor to have you.
Thank you.
Well, it's your first time here.
Yes, it is.
Let's go ahead and start from the beginning.
Okay.
So, you were born in D.C.
Southeast.
Okay. And your mom actually named you Earthquake.
Not really. That's just a joke.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it really was. My real name is Nathaniel Stroman. Mm-hmm. And as a black comedian, I needed something to give me a fighting start. Welcome in Nathaniel Stroman. Boo, boo, boo. So I had to get a name that gave me a fighting chance. And how I came up with it, I went to one of my friends that made bad decisions in his life. And I came and say, man, I'm thinking about changing my name to Earthquake for a stage name. He said, I wouldn't do that if I was you. And so I went on and did it.
He makes bad decisions.
Yeah, so that's how, I judge a motherfucker. I didn't have, when you don't have a role model, find a motherfucker who's fucking up his life. So I'm thinking about doing it. And he said, yeah, then you don't do it. And if you say no. So I go opposite of his advice.
Okay. Now, you mention your mom a lot throughout throughout your routines, but your father you don't mention as much.
My biological father didn't know him. He was killed at all. He was killed. My biological mother gave me up to my aunt. So my aunt and my uncle raised me.
Oh.
So they the one who raised me since I was 2. My mother couldn't bring any more children in her mother's house. And they said, the next kid you come in here ain't staying. And I was the next one. And when I got 2, she said, as soon as he able to walk, he gonna walk his ass up out of here. So she gave me to her sister, and they raised me.
How many kids did your mom have before you?
She had 3. Yeah, 3. I was the 4th.
Okay, from the same father?
Same father.
Okay, so your biological father, had 3 kids with your mother.
Right. Her husband, yeah.
And then they were married?
That's what I was told.
Okay. But then when you came,
right,
you had to go to someone else's, to
I
your
had to stay there
to your aunt's house.
To the aunt house. She told him, not, like a parent, you're not self-sufficient. You already got 3 kids by this motherfucker. Don't have 4. And to stand on what she believed in, she didn't let me stay. So my aunt, which I call my mother, who raised me, already had a husband, and she said, well, let him stay here until you get on his feet. And I just stayed there for the rest of the time.
Okay. And what exactly happened to your father?
He was killed, shot in the head. He was in the streets. He was doing different things. He was a street worker, hustling, those type of things.
How old were you when you got killed?
I know I was in the military. I didn't go to the funeral.
Oh, so this didn't happen when you were a kid. This happened way later on.
No.
Okay.
No,
so
I was in the military.
So all these years, your adolescent years, your teen years, he's around. Why aren't you guys connecting at all?
Because for me personally, I had a person that was occupying that was my uncle who played my father, and there was no need, nor did he reach out for me. So the feeling was mutual.
He didn't reach out to you at all?
Never. But he had about 27 kids.
20? Are you joking right now? Or
no,
serious?
I'm telling the truth.
27 kids.
He was so trifling that he had 4 women that he told them this was his first son, and he named them Junior. So we went to the funeral. I wasn't there, but it was 4 other kids with my brother's name. And we fucks with him all the time. He got the same name you got. And I met one of my brothers, half-brothers, when I joined the military. When they called our name, we both stood up. and we conversated, and we found out that he was our father.
I mean, that's kind of dangerous. You could be dating your sister and not even know it. Like,
it's
all in the same area.
Yeah, I might have fucked one of my sisters. I mean, it's 27 of
27, all in D.C.?
All in D.C.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah. And they was crying at the funeral, and my brother told me about it, because I was stationed over in Okinawa, Japan when it happened. and I wasn't gonna take none of my leave to fly back. It's one of my regrets. Just pay, not to pay respect to him, but to the status who he was. I should have did that, and that's one of the regrets. But anyway, he said the chicks was in that motherfucker crying and shit, and my mother was in the pew sitting beside my brother. He said, "You better not get up and get over there." But she was the only one, from my story, she was the only one that actually married him, and she married him, from what I'm told from family, so he wouldn't go to jail. Because back in the day, judge say, you either get married or we sending you to jail. That motherfucker said, here she is. This is my wife. I got a family. Used us as a prop.
27 children.
27, man.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember, D.L. Hughley's a regular on my show.
My man.
And he had a side baby at one point that unfortunately passed. But at one point he had to tell his wife about the baby. But I remember he made the joke. He said, "No, your family's supposed to find out about your side baby at the funeral when the way God intended it to be."
God intended it, exactly.
And this is basically what you're talking about, right?
It. Well, we knew, but I was always. It didn't matter because I had someone else that filled that void.
Yeah.
My brothers did not. You know what I'm saying? So they took it more harder than I did. You know.
Did you have a relationship with your biological mother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we was good.
Okay.
We was good.
But your aunt actually raised you.
She actually raised me. And, they being siblings, they went back and forth,
Well, listen, at least had a loving home in your own immediate family. You didn't have to go out to foster care or end up with, some distant relative or...
Well, it makes you who you are. I mean, if God would have meant me to be there, and that's what I told my mother, my biological mother, before she passed. And she carried a lot of guilt with it. And I told her, I mean, you can tell the decision you made was for the best because you see the result. Look how it turned out. Mm-hmm. So it was that phone there. So we was good.